Hi, it's Michael from Guitarist, and we're here with 4 small gigging amps from Hughes Kettner, Vox, Laney and Fender. In this demo, we'll start by comparing each amp's sounds in the context of a full track. We've aimed to keep the tones, mic and mix settings as close as possible to enable direct comparison. Afterwards, we'll show you a range of tones, including clean and dirty sounds, as well as how each amp responds to pedals, using Electro Harmonix Glove Overdrive. We're playing a PRS S2 single cut semi-hollow.
So the Hughes Kettner is the only one of our amps on test here which has a closed back. What does that mean? It means it will have a slightly more focused sound. You might find that the sort of bass response is really tight and chunky, like, you know, sort of modern heavy rock sound. It's kind of packed with features. It's a twin channel amp, so you can sort of set up contrasting sounds on the clean channel and the lead channel, switch between them using a foot switch, which obviously makes it quite flexible if you're using it on a gig. It's also got an attenuator, so that means you can step down the power to suit whatever environment you're in. So if you're playing in your bedroom, you might want to have it on the lowest setting. At a gig, you'd obviously want to open it right up. And it's also got the red box DI out, which is useful for silent recording at home. So of the amps we've got on test, this is certainly one of the ones which has the most flexibility in it if you kind of use those sort of features.
Vox AC15 is one of our favourite amps to use for demo purposes, and this version, I have to admit, does look cooler.
This is a great little amp. It's maybe not the amp you'd want to choose if you need loads of clean headroom, but you've got a tremolo on board, you've got reverb, you've got these very evocative kind of crunch tones which are easy to access without needing too much in the way of drive pedals. Certainly at 15 watts you're going to be into crunchy zone without too much trouble.
So the AC15 is an amplifier that I instantly feel at home with. I've owned an AC15 myself in the past, and I love the inspirational kind of musicality of the onboard tremolo circuit. Reverb's really nice as well. It records fantastically as well, from kind of pure sort of 60s clean chime right up to some pretty edgy, brattish, overdriven voices.
The Laney was probably the most versatile of the amps we had in test here today. Had a really nice clean sound, as well as proper heavy gain sounds, which the other amps can't necessarily approach quite as well. But it also took pedals well, so a real all-rounder. And obviously it's going to have more volume than the rest of the amps because of the 30 watts and more headroom.
So Laney's Ironheart is kind of a tone tweaker's delight, really. You've got so many tone sculpting options on this that if you're interested in really dialing in the perfect tone for a particular guitar or a particular gig or a particular recording, you've all got all of that at your fingertips here, which perhaps with something like the Fender you wouldn't have. It's also built like a tank, so it looks like it will stand up to the rigours of the road fairly well.
I think that sometimes Laney, it's a brand that's kind of overlooked sometimes. but which is a little unfair, as they're a great British amp brand, and they make a lot of products, great value for money and well worthy of consideration.
Fender is really small, light combo, which makes it great for lugging around in the back of your car and at the end of gigs. But the sound was really impressive despite its small size. It projected very well, and it had EL84s, but it still had a sort of Fender meets Vox kind of sound to it, which was quite appealing for a lot of people, I think. And it takes pedals very, very well, thanks to that really good clean channel.
For its size, it's got bags of tone, and despite the fact it has got EL84 valves in the power section, it's got a distinctly Fendery voice. So this is, if you want to kind of get those sparkly, spanky kind of Fender tones, this is a good choice. But of course it is 15 watts, so don't expect like limitless headroom or like a little Fender Twin in your pocket, because it will break up quite easily.
You'd be surprised how huge it sounds with the microphone in front of it, and the reverb always sounds really nice, and it's great for anything from sort of classic 60s pop sounds to more edgy, more rock and roll, more overdriven voices.